Welcome back to Chaos Corner. It's your old buddy, the Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy, and I tell it like it is, coming to you live to tape from 20 feet below the surface of the earth here on a Monday morning, coming off WWE, one of their biggest events of the year in Survivor Series. Now, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I want you to sit back and relax. I'm going to start off with telling you how disappointed I was in last night's Survivor Series. Now, I get it. I'm not going to try to be negative. I'm not here to bash. I don't usually cover the WWE like this on Chaos Corner, but seeing that we're live to tape, I am going to compare what's going on between AEW and the WWE. Now, in the last 2 weeks, I've watched two big pay-per-views from both companies. So, as I said, I'm going to break it down for you here, and I'm going to tell you what I noticed. Number one, all they did, let me lower the distraction. We have no one here on location today. It's solo. It's one man. It's unique. It's unscripted. This is what you get on Chaos Corner. Could we push any more of Dwayne The Rock Johnson? And I love The Rock. I've met The Rock. We've been on an events together. Yes, Dwayne The Rock Johnson in the GOC. Now, I'm going to say that to say this. They pushed him and pushed him and pushed him in videos and promotions and 25 years of The Rock. Vince McMahon returns and we get no Rock. So that's what I want to cover. I'm going to go through the whole pay-per-view. We're going to break it down. Now, follow me on all social media platforms. On Twitter, it's at Big Daddy GOC, and the GOC stands for the Guardian of Chaos. Hit the Twitter profile. That will knock you over to here on Guardian of Chaos on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram at the Guardian of Chaos. And, of course, on Facebook, my alter egos, Jay Brony and Protigio Fidelis El Guardian. And don't forget my boys over at Jay Brony, and that's at Mario_Chaos. Don't you dare miss it. We're going over to YouTube. All right, fans. Welcome back to Chaos Corner. I'm glad that you're here. We're live to tape, as I said. I want to break down last night's WWE 2021 version of the Survivor Series. I have a lot of notes. I'm going to keep this short because obviously between the pay-per-view going on till almost midnight and then staying up and listening to the different coverage from Fightful to Wrestling Inc. to JD from New York, the number one in the whole IWC, Don Tony, all the different people that I listen to that put out their shows, and I go back and I listen to the reviews from Jim Cornette to Conrad Thompson. Everybody and their brother, mother, sister, uncle, and cousins all have podcasts in the IWC. So that's why I'm an independent and I do my own thing, and that's why this is a one-man show. So I want to, again, give you, as I've said already, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But before we get on to last night's pay-per-view and what we're going to do here on Chaos Corner, I want to have a quick moment of silence and give out my condolences and prayers to those involved in that terrible tragedy yesterday in Wisconsin during the Wisconsin parade. And all the different things from the elderly to little children and what happened with the tragedy in the vehicle plowing through the parade and on a Sunday. So I don't know what's going on in this world. We know that we're being divided by big tech, big pharma, the government, the media especially. I'm not here to be on a soapbox, but we have to talk about current events briefly. To all the different people affected, from the economy to foreign relations, to all the people left behind in Afghanistan, to what's happening at the southern border and people flowing over. I mean, it's pure chaos, and that's no pun intended on my surname. So quickly, fans out there, family, friends, a moment of silence for the horrible tragedy, and my thoughts and prayers to everyone out there and affected by this. All right, fans, let's move on to the pay-per-view, and here in America, let's stick together. Stick with like-minded people. Stay true to your morals, your convictions, your values, and to who you are. Be proud to be who you are. Speak your mind. Stick up for yourself. Be safe. Keep your head on a swivel. Be aware of your surroundings. You know my background. You know where I'm coming from. I have to put this out there when we talk because there is a touch of reality along with the entertainment here on Chaos Corner. So I'm hoping this is going to be just a part one. You never know what could happen here in the bunker with technical difficulties, Wi-Fi, the internet, the whole 9 yards. But we've been having some success. So let me just give you a couple highlights, lowlights before we get to the actual card. I've already said that all the promotion for The Rock, 25 years. In 5 or 6 months, he's going to be 50 years old, The Rock. He hasn't been in the ring in quite some time. When are they going to make this happen? I know I'm getting ahead of myself. For what may happen in Texas coming up in 2022 for WrestleMania. 2 nights. I believe it's going to be WrestleMania 38. It's been a long time. And speaking of that, their Survivor Series started in 1987, right after WrestleMania 3. So a little history for you fans and folks out there. That was the first Survivor Series. Originally, one of the big four, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, and the Survivor Series. That's how it was, the big four. And sometimes, then they throw in Money in the Bank and King of the Ring and should keep it the original 4, maybe 5, half dozen at the most. There's pay-per-views every weekend, whether it be AEW, the WWE, Impact, New Japan, MLW, the NWA, even Ring of Honor, who just recently was folded. And speaking of that, all the different releases from Ring of Honor and the WWE and their continued releases, over 125 or 130 different talents in the last couple of years from the WWE. And then, of course, what Ring of Honor just recently did, which I think will be nothing but great things for the independents. As I've said on my previous episodes, I tell you to follow me here, like, subscribe, get us in the algorithm, hit the bell. I have hundreds of videos here on the channel. From current events to history to everything that you could think of, including the mothership here, the brand of the Chaos Corner podcast. So the different things last night that I also noticed, the CM Punk chants. That's telling you the fans don't like what they're seeing in the ring. CM Punk chants during the women's Rumble match. The Wave was also done last night at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn because that's where it emanated from. The Barclays Center, a lot of friends and people from the IWC and here locally, I know, made the journey into Brooklyn, to the Barclays Center. There was even, whether it be R-Truth or the Street Profits, they're throwing pizza in the crowd. Really? Is this what we're getting down to? Vince McMahon, I said, returns, and that's great, but he's kind of like a Scrooge now, and he's finally evolving into his character, I guess you could say that. I mean, I heard that a little bit earlier this morning when Bully Ray brought it open on Busted Open, and it's funny because I was thinking the same effing thing. The golden egg, the $100 million egg, Cleopatra, the gift from The Rock. Really? Vince with the promos and vignettes backstage, and then Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. Now Adam Pearce has to, Vince, find that egg, you thieves! You're fired. I mean, I don't do the best Vince McMahon impressions, but all that last night, the over promotion of The Rock, and then no appearance, no vignette, no video, no nothing. A lot of confusion during last night's pay-per-view. A lot of things that I didn't like. A couple of things that I really did like. I'm not here to bash. I said it again. I probably said it 2 times already. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It's just the different things. There was never even an ending to the $1 million egg from the Rock to Vince McMahon. And so Monday Night Raw, what's going to happen tonight and what's going to continue to happen. I mean, it really was something last night with The Rock not showing up. They're promoting the movie Red Notice. They're promoting different things. Why did we have some of the things in the placement of the lineup? That I don't know. I know I sound like I'm complaining when I said I wasn't going to be complaining. But I've watched the 2 pay-per-views in the last week. What a difference between AEW and WWE, between the a 2-year company and a 50-year company. The pacing, the lineup, the talent, the different storylines, the psychology, the crowds. I'll give the crowd in New York last night in Brooklyn a lot of credit. They tried to get into it. They were up, they were down, they were in. Not like AEW, who seems to be in it throughout the whole thing. So the different notices and changes that I wanted to bring to you guys today, let it sink in 24 hours. I wanted to see what other people had to say and put it together with what I viewed last night. You know that's what I do here on Chaos Corner. Those were the big takes before we get onto the cards that I took out of it. There were a lot of questions and not many answers, so I don't know what'll happen on Raw tonight, including different promos. Xia Li wasn't even at Survivor Series, wasn't even involved, and we got a 3-minute promo on Xia Li. Also, the placement of the different promos, besides the overindulgence of The Rock, who didn't show up. I mean, what a cluster that was. If you were watching too before the main event, and I'll get onto that, they're throwing out a Bobby Lashley video like something was screwed up in the lineup, or something was supposed to continue to happen with the storyline of the golden egg or something. Something happened. I don't know. It's being reported. I picked up on it. It just didn't make sense. You guys tell me what you think. Leave something in the comment section as we're 11 minutes in here. I just want to bring out the beginning of what I saw there. You would have thought Bobby Lashley was in the main event against Roman as opposed to Big E. So again, I'm a little confused. I follow the WWE, but I don't watch it regularly. I have to get the news notes, fast forward to what I like to see, pick up on what I think the storylines are going to be. But again, I'm disappointed. I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. I'm just being honest. Becky Lynch and Charlotte was a great match. Not crazy about the finish. We'll get onto that. That stood out to me. Opened up hot, fast, as I said on Twitter last night, if you were live tweeting with me. It really was an unbelievable bout. And there is legit animosity. A lot of people saying it's a work. Go back and watch the video that she took backstage right after the match. You'll see pure emotion. Two great lady grapplers, perhaps one of the two. I always say Becky's a little underrated. Last night was a good match, and you could see the passion and how much these ladies are professional, and at least they started off hot that way. So that stood out to me, and we're going to cover that. I thought the Usos and RK Bro was fun. It was an entertaining match. It stood out as far as the card because there wasn't a lot that stood out. Of course, the main event, Roman Reigns and Big E, was a solid match. Again, we're going to get onto that. So stay with me here. We're 13 minutes in. I got the original notes, the opening monologue. I went a little long to get everything out of the way and different things that I noticed and that were brought to my attention and what I saw live while I was watching it. So we're here early on a Monday. Give me a little second, a little break. It's good to see everybody. Welcome back. Go back and check out the last videos, as I've said. There's a lot of information on here. Everything from pillar to post, from coast to coast, and border to border here on Chaos Corner and on the Guardian of Chaos YouTube channel. All right, fans, let's get into it. Nice little pick-me-up here early in the morning. Yes, I have notes. I took notes. I know, who knew for the WWE. And remember, it's still No Shave November. So cut me some slack here, okay? No Shave November. We start off with the pre-show. Okay, I told you I gave it a 5 out of 10. So allegedly, over 15,000 at the Barclays Center. I saw the live videos. A bunch of friends had sent me live photographs and videos from the Barclays Center. It looked like it was pretty full to me. If you made the trip out there and saw that show, God bless you, because the weather was terrible in the city on the way to get back out on 95. That's what I know. You got Pat McAfee, Michael Cole, and Adam Graves as your announcers. They rotate people in and out. Jimmy Smith comes in from the MMA world. I think he's good. They bring in Byron Saxton, different guys, Raw, SmackDown. You know it's not the traditional Survivor Series anymore. It's the Raw, SmackDown brand since they've been doing this in, 2016, I think is when this started. The pre-show had everybody from Booker T to Jerry King Lawler on it. I enjoy that sometimes because I like listening to the legends talk. I know it's a little cheesy, and 25 years of The Rock, that's what it was all based around. And that's why it was such a fiasco with him not showing up. But speaking of that, the legendary Samoan dynasty, the true head of the table, in my mind, after Chief Peter Maivia, God rest his soul, 79th birthday. Big kudos and birthday shout outs and congratulations and God bless you to Pops, a.k.a. Afa Anawai of the Wild Samoans, Samoan number one. So how ironic, his 79th birthday yesterday, 25 years of The Rock in the WWE, Roman Reigns, the bloodline, the tribal chief, the head of the table, the Usos. It really is the Samoan dynasty, which you know I have a close connection to, and they were a huge part of my managerial career in the independent business. Everyone from Umaga to Yokozuna to Rikishi to Afa himself, Lloyd Anawai. Unbelievable family, great people, and I tell you, true legends in this business. And you see, WWE's putting a flagship on the Samoan dynasty, and it's working. It's the only storyline, really, until Becky and Charlotte with all this that's really interesting. I mean, let's be honest here. As a guy who's been a fan for 50 years and an insider, remember my qualifications and credentials. It's not about that, but I just want to let you know that at least when you're listening to me, you know that I do my homework and research, and I know what I'm talking about. I'm an independent. I'm an independent platform. I get it. A lot of competition out there, but you won't get anything that's as real can get right here on Chaos Corner. In the opening, we had the pre-show, so to speak, Nakamura against Damian Priest. Two unbelievable talents. I don't think this should have been on the pre-show, but it is what it is. Nakamura wins in a disqualification over Damian Priest. Outside the ring, Priest hit him with a foreign object. I forget what it was that he had hit Nakamura with. But again, two great talents. Nakamura has been pushed to the back burner. When he first came in, ooh, and all the song and everything, and he had the live guitar player last night, which I found to be damn annoying. It was great during the entrance. But then when he's playing it during the match, come on. This match was over relatively quick. And again, Nakamura wins by disqualification. And can I say any more? For as much as that he's a talented guy, Pat McAfee, way, way over the top. They're an entertaining listen for a three-man booth. It's tough to have a three-man booth. It's not like at Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling when it's a two-man booth with myself and Talking Tommy Saban, a.k.a. The Prodigy. Three-man booth, McAfee, Cole, and Graves. I'll give Graves a lot of credit. He's on the Raw brand, we know that. But I like his style. I like Graves. Pat McAfee, and listen, I've been accused of it in color commentary myself sometimes, so I'm just throwing it out there with no disrespect. Way over the top on the SmackDown brand. And last night, I told you the different announcers they brought in. I just wanted to throw that back out there. But they can be entertaining. So they open up real hot, with Becky versus Charlotte. A lot of people thought this was going to be last. The placement of it. Where would it be? I didn't expect it. I didn't expect Becky and Charlotte to start with this. So it's the Raw champion Becky against the WWE SmackDown champion. I don't like any of this. Champion versus champion. I get it. Charlotte and Becky. Here's what I took out of it. First off, let's put the outfits, the gear, the ring attire aside. Charlotte's got her hair braided. She looks tremendous. Both ladies are in great shape. She's got on black fishnet two-piece wrestling gear. Becky's wearing the red leather one-piece and high boots. Now, a lot of people were talking about it. It looked like a thong. Both ladies, again, if you're looking for it, they're great grapplers. They don't need to dress like this. I know I'm going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. A lot of people are going to come at me. I really don't care, to be quite honest with you. But do we have to have such professional, trained grapplers that are so great in the ring that can they get over on their talent besides their beauty and have to show it to like it's almost like a lingerie match? And I get what Becky was trying to do, and I picked up on it because I'm a Marvel fan. I wanted to be a Marvel comic at one time and thought I was going to get there. But that's neither here nor there. She was allegedly, this is what I'm hearing. I did a little research, doing a little cosplay on, she's down with the whole Marvel thing, on the Scarlet Witch with that outfit. So you take it for what it's worth. Again, they didn't have to do that. They just didn't have to be with those kind of outfits. I think it takes away from it. That's just my personal opinion. I know TNA sells, sex sells. I get it. But as a professional grappler and being professional, they're so good in the ring, they don't need that to put themselves over. Just like they don't need the men to put them over with intergender matches. You don't need it. That's just my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. The crowd was alive to begin with, and the crowd is chanting Becky. That's for one thing for sure. And if I hear Michael Cole mention the attendance one more time, I get it. I'm accused of doing it too when I work for Paradise Alley, saying it over again, the venue and whatever the Fight TV or the pay-per-view is or the card. I get it. I understand. But Michael Cole, really? I know that's what we're there for as commentators, managers, broadcasters. I get it. A little over the top with mentioning that. Becky applies the disarmor. The match is very physical outside of the ring. The Charlotte top rope moonsaults, again, a little questionable. She's an unbelievable athlete. We know her background. Again, very physical match. You could feel and see that there is legit animosity between these two because of the whole Ric Flair and Andrade and everything else that's involved between these two, and the whole backstage heat and swapping of the belts. Blame creative, blame Pritchard, blame Vince, blame Ric Flair. And blame Charlotte herself too, and Becky. They're all to blame in this, but you could see it, but they're professional. So they break out all the different moves. Everything from the Becky putting the disarmor on Charlotte reversing and putting a disarmor onto Becky. The reversals of the figure fours. I mean, the different things and the dangerous moonsaults and assaults off the top rope that Charlotte does. Not just in the ring, which look a little awkward. And I get it. She's a great athlete, perhaps the best in the world. But the one outside from the top rope onto Becky, total botch. Missed it. They even had the balls to re-show it over again, WWE, because they just don't care about the fans or the product of what they show you, because they think you're still going to buy it because they're still making money. Look at the stocks. But what a dangerous move. And it goes to show you, anyone that ever questions the athletic ability and the competition and what goes on in the world of professional wrestling, I'm going to say it. You got to be an ass. I'm just going to say that to say this. So both ladies represented themselves. This could be one of the best matches of the year without a doubt. I'm just going to say it. Becky applies, again, the figure four. They go back and forth with the paintbrushes and the bitch slaps, the different reversals, off the ropes. Again, I can't get over that top moonsault to the outside where she missed. And again, I'll say it, McAfee during this match, over the top. Again, if I had to rate this match from 0 to 10, I'm going to give it perhaps a 7.5 or 8 out of 10, 4 stars out of 10, out of 5 stars, I mean. It was a good match, but I'm going to get on to the finish. Different things that we pick up on. Charlotte, again, we already applied the different things, the different moves, how they did the reversals, and they went back and forth, and you get the feeling here that the WWE and the creative and whatever they're trying to do is trying to recreate a Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, a screw job type thing once we get to the finish, because it was what they call... I don't like to swear and cuss on here, but I'm just fuck finish. That's what a lot of people were saying. I'm trying to stay away from I don't need to be blue to get over, as my good friend Chaz Moretti said when it comes to commentating. So this is what happens. Big chops back and forth. We come up to the finish of the match. And again, as I said, the roll-up reversals, whatever, schoolboys, schoolgirls, whatever you want to call them for the roll-up. Charlotte rolls up. Becky puts her hand on the ropes and goes for the pin at the end, grabs the tight. The ref breaks it up. In return, Becky rolls up. Charlotte does the same thing, grabs the tight, puts the hand on the ropes. Boom, 1, 2, 3, it's over, and Becky wins. Unbelievable matchup. Again, I didn't like the finish, but that's the story that opened up on Survivor Series last night with Becky versus Charlotte, champion versus champion. A lot of different storylines in here, a lot of different animosity. You could feel it. It was a good match. This was the bright spot of the night, in my opinion. Just telling it like it is. After the roll-ups and the pins and this so-called screw job, I guess we'll say, instead of using the other word, which I used to like to use all the time, but it's just not realistic here right now. Becky, for where do you ever hear this? And a lot of people pointed out, I picked up on it right away. I live tweeted it last night. Becky even calls out the dirt sheets and right there in the ring to the camera. So I'll give her a lot of credit for all the different people out there. And we know how crazy the dirt sheets are and the IWC is, but really was not a bad match. Again, 4 out of 5 stars, 8 out of 10, perhaps one of the best women's matches of the year. I'm just going to say it. A lot of people will say, Dr. Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa from AEW. And there's a couple of other matches out there. Sasha and Bianca. I'm going to not say that. This was one of the best. Afterwards, right to social media, Becky was interviewed moments after the match, and you could see the legit emotion, the legit of her breaking down and the respect. And that wasn't fake. That was legit. That was real in my mind. I don't want to say shoot. It's an overused word because to me, shoot is we're actually doing these. But you could see and feel the emotion and how much respect and how professional she was. And I see her in a little bit different of a way because I haven't always been the biggest fan of Becky because I am a big Charlotte fan because of her in-ring, not so much her attitude and behind-the-scenes stuff, which I'm not privy to all of that. But an excellent match. And again, this took up the first almost 25 minutes between my monologue and this first match here on Chaos Corner. And then we'll try to breeze through. I want to keep this under 45 minutes, get it up today for you, the fans. So really was interesting. Where do we go from here? Charlotte go back to SmackDown, Becky to Monday Night Raw. A lot of people out there talking, gabbing. That's why I wait till 24 hours, sometimes 48 hours for it to sink in. A lot of people automatically think now that Charlotte's going to go to AEW, this, that, the whole 9 yards when her contract is up. I mean, I don't know. You guys make the call. The decision is up to you. That's what's great about this business and this industry. So very interesting to see. You know it's legit heat, animosity, but both ladies professional in a great match. And again, put the outfits and the gear aside. That's what I thought about it. And it's nice to see the dirt sheets get called out and all you clowns out there in the IWC who know nothing about wrestling. Everybody can have a podcast and you just all jump off the bridge with what you think you know when you find out you don't know. I'm surprised I even watched it, but it's one of the big four. I am a 50-year fan in the business. So I like reporting to you, the fans. That's why I'm here, to give it to you and to help me mentally. So we move on from that. We go to the next matchup. Again, the crowd's going to seem hot. I'm going to say that. They were up and down throughout the night. This is one of the matches that I could have done without on the match here to make the card not go so long. Again, all the conjecture of where does Charlotte go from here before we wrap up that first bout. Your guess is as good as mine. Her contract isn't up yet. Will she be in AEW someday? Hey, that's why the business is hot right now. But we know where Becky Lynch, whatever you want to call her, the man, this, that, the whole 9 yards in the history. So we'll move off from that. We'll go on to the second match up here. Again, they're rotating the announcers in from Jimmy Smith to Byron Saxton to McAfee, Graves, Cole. How about bringing me in for the rotation? You know I've earned it and deserve it. We're not here to talk about me, but it is Chaos Corner. So the next matchup, a lot of controversy here too. You can see the AEW effect is with the crowd, whether they're chanting CM Punk, whether they're talking about where Charlotte's future is, or whether they're talking about this next guy, Kevin Owens, because this is one of the Rumble matches where you have one side for SmackDown. It's King Woods, Jeff Hardy, who you got to give a lot of credit to. This guy's been around forever, and to still do what he does with all those injuries, kudos to Jeff Hardy. One of the OG originals, been around for a long time. So it's King Woods, which I hate the gimmick. I've already made it public, even on Busted Open Radio. King Woods, Jeff Hardy, Sheamus, Happy Corbin, and Drew McIntyre for SmackDown against Kevin Owens, Lashley, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and I forget the fifth guy. That's how much for Team Raw. To start off, right from the rip, it's Kevin Owens and King Woods. Xavier Woods, we'll say. KO rolls out of the ring, walks off. That's it. Leaves his team. Done. Gone. Goodbye. Persona non grata. Now, a lot of people on there, social media said, that's it. There's your sign. He's going to AEW when his contract is up. Kevin Owens is gone. There's been a lot of conjecture, a lot of talk. He's been unhappy. He's been outspoken. He's one of the best talent on the roster. He's one of the biggest names on the roster. I could see him in AEW, but that's up for conjecture. Is that his way of sending a message that he's going to AEW when his contract is up? Or is that WWE's way of putting into the storyline, which they never do, the storylines or the long-term booking that everyone does? That's the key phrase out there now. Or is that setting him up for a run, maybe somewhere down the road to be heel, as he plays very well, to go up against Big E to set up for the next challenge? Or Seth Rollins, you could see that whole thing brewing up, because the winner, the bottom line in this match, after KO was eliminated, fight Owens fight, Seth Rollins goes on to win and is the sole survivor in this match. I'm not going to run through everything. It's just not worth it to me. I'll be here forever. This will be an hour and 15-minute podcast. I'm trying to cut it down and just give you the highlights, as I said. So what ends up happening is Owens is out. You can see what they're maybe doing for storylines. Rollins and Owens towards Big E, the championship. Who knows where it's going from there? Again, Jeff Hardy was over with the crowd. I got to give Jeff Hardy a lot of props for that. So a lot to be said. The bottom line is Seth Rollins is the sole survivor. I called it beforehand. You knew this was going to happen. Seth Rollins is your winner. And again, setting up the storyline. So that's what came out of the SmackDown versus Raw match. Again, all over the place, a little confusion. You see the storylines of what they're going to do potentially. And that's what we have there for the Rumble in the second matchup. Then we go, first off, Vince shows up in a limo. He comes out with the golden egg. He's got all the stars and the roster around him, chanting him that The Rock, 25 years. That was the whole theme of his debut at the Survivor Series 25 years ago. We know what they were doing. Over the top, you would have thought it was all about The Rock. And then, as I've already repeated 15 times, he didn't show. So Vince is all happy. He's got the golden egg. You see the promo there. That's what we had leading into him sitting down backstage with Roman Reigns. The golden egg, Cleopatra, talking about The Rock and his gift and the bloodline and the Samoan dynasty and his 25 years. Pretty interesting sit down there with Roman. I kind of enjoyed it. I like the backstage vignettes as long as they're not too corny or over the top. So to have Vince back, who knew, right? So that was your next segment on Survivor Series. We go next into the Battle Royal. Again, another match that I know they have to have fillers, but this is why it goes on too long. Again, the rotating announcers in here. This is where they get a little out of hand, if you ask me, and just too much. And this is the difference between AEW and WWE when it comes to wrestling and entertainment. And I have goods and bads on both sides for both of the two big companies right now. They're throwing pizza out to the crowd, the Street Profits. Really? Is that what it's come down to, the chicanery there? R-Truth comes in with a slice of pizza and offers it up to the heavy machinery guy there, Otis, and offers it up to almost the giant. I mean, he really is unbelievable. But that's what the whole match in this Battle Royal at Survivor Series was about. First off, AJ Styles leaves the match and goes and sits in the booth for most of the match, and the commentary booth. So it really was crazy and was all over the place. The bottom line is it was to showcase the dominance of the monster, the 7-foot giant, AJ Styles' right-hand man, Omos. And that's what it was all about. I didn't care for it. They had to get all the talent in there, from the pizza to everything else, but you get what the storyline was. It was for the big man to win and to go over and to push him as a monster. Listen, Strowman is gone. The Big Show is gone. They don't have anybody else like him. That's what I see. That's what I took out of that match for the Battle Royal. Again, could have went different. Didn't have to be there. Took up a lot of time, a lot of filler. Again, with the promos and all the different stuff that we had here. We move on to the next matchup, which was, I thought, a very entertaining match. The tag team titles, champion versus champion, Raw versus SmackDown, as the whole theme since 2016. It's Jimmy and Jey Uso, the Bloodline, the Samoan Dynasty against Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. RK Bro. Now, here's the interesting notes. There were a lot of false finishes in this. I understand the fans were out of it in the Battle Royal, but they have jumped back into it in this match. You could feel it. So I'll give the crowd their credit. Give them a little bit of credit for trying to stay into this. There was a lot of confusion in this match as well, but here are the notes that I took out of it. And it's been well documented if you do your research. It's out there for public knowledge and consumption for all of us to find it if you do your homework. Last night, Randy Orton passed Kane and as his 177th pay-per-view appearance. The most pay-per-views in history. And if he's on Raw tonight, which I believe he will be, why wouldn't he be? He'll have the most appearances in the history of Monday Night Raw. Think about Randy Orton, who's had his demons and his troubles in the past, as one of the most solid, legitimate grapplers in pro wrestling history. A first ballot, well, I can use that phrase, Hall of Famer for sure. Multi-time champion, and again, number one in the history of pay-per-views in the WWE, 177, and he'll have the number one in appearances on Monday Night Raw in the WWE. There's a lot to be said for longevity and what he's done and what he's survived through. So this was a good match. The double super kicks by the Usos, unbelievable action. All these guys are in great shape. There was some confusion in the match. The bottom line is, with all the false finishes, Jimmy Uso goes to the top. Who's supposed to be the legal man? Is it Riddle? Is it Randy Orton? It was Randy Orton. Jimmy Uso did not know about it. He goes to the top rope, off the top rope with the splash, right onto Matt Riddle, who's not the legal man. And out of nowhere, who is the legal man? This was an unbelievable finish to this bout. RKO out of nowhere as Usos coming off the top rope to go on to Riddle. Here comes Randy Orton out of nowhere with the RKO, and I got to tell you, the timing was perfect. What an ending. He rolls up Jimmy Uso. Boom. That's the pin. That's the finish. And RK Bro goes over in the champions versus champions match against the Usos. Now, I necessarily didn't see this because they're pushing the bloodline, but the Usos have been doing a lot of the jobs and putting people over, so I'll give them credit too. Confusion as who was the legal man. I did like the ending. This was an entertaining match. If you go from Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair as perhaps the best match of the night, I would say this is one of the better standout matches, perhaps the third best match of the night if we're going by numbers. The Usos and RK Bro with Orton and Riddle going over. We move on to another Vince McMahon, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. It's good to be back. Welcome back, Vince. He's another sit down in the back with Cleopatra, the egg, the golden $100 million gift from The Rock on his 25-year anniversary. So Vince is backstage with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, the front office of the WWE, if you will. And they're talking about, where is the egg? Vince is beside himself because somebody stole the egg. This is what they're doing, the $100 million egg. This is what they're doing. So he demands, go find that egg. I want you to interview every superstar on the roster. Again, not a good Vince McMahon impression. You're fired. I don't do it that well. He wants Adam Pearce to interview everyone, which I'm sure will spill over to tonight on Monday Night Raw, and interview all the stars. And where's this storyline going? We didn't get a conclusion to it. We don't know what's going to happen. But this is really a stolen egg. Find the egg. Find Cleopatra. So now you see where it's going with Adam Pearce, the general manager, commissioner, whatever his gimmick is. $100 million. So again, no rhyme, no reason. Is this the mini gobbledygook? I don't know what's happening here. So I don't know where it's going to go. Again, confusion. It's good to see Vince. It's nice to see the ultimate heel and his character evolve into what looks like an old, miserable Scrooge now with thieves. Remember when his real heel, the owner gimmick character, probably really evolved naturally. organically with the whole screw job between Bret and Shawn back then. That's when it all really started and then evolved into his feud with Stone Cold, and the rest is history. Think about it. 40 minutes in here on Chaos Corner, live to tape. Hit me up on all social media platforms. Thanks for being here as we review WWE Survivor Series, unfortunately. So, again, the vignettes, that's what we have going on. We'll see what happens on Raw tonight. We go into the next match, the Ladies Raw SmackDown Survivor Series match. I'm not going to break it down like I didn't about the Men's Battle Royal or the Men's Survivor Series match. It's just not the traditional the way it used to be. And this is what they're trying to do. And I'm going to say this about the Women's Survivor Series match. Build back Bianca. I said it. Build back Bianca. That's what they're trying to do here. You got Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Carmella, Rhea Ripley, Zelina for the Raw side against Natalya, Shayna Baszler, Toni Storm, Shotzi, and Sasha. Now we know the whole storyline or lack thereof between Sasha and Bianca. That's what they're trying to set up here. Rhea Ripley's already been buried. They're pushing Queen Zelina. I get it. Shayna Baszler looked a little lost out there. Just things that I picked up and noticed on. Not putting anyone down because I respect everyone and anyone that's ever stepped into the ring, especially the top stars of this industry. So let me say that to say this. Sasha was counted out twice, but still kept interfering and getting involved. I don't understand. They made her look weak, in my opinion. Bianca was the only one left in this as the sole survivor. You knew they were ready to set that up. Shayna Baszler ended up pinning Rhea Ripley, which the two girls, I get it. I don't think that makes Rhea look good. Shayna Baszler's been lost in the storylines for quite some time now. So I'm really not sure about how they had Shayna pin Rhea Ripley. That's what I noticed in the match. And again, Rhea Ripley a year ago, 2 years ago, was supposed to be the next big thing. And boy, have they really... I don't know if she can come back from any of this. The bottom line is Bianca was the only one left from the Raw team. She was the sole survivor, 1-on-4, like she's Superwoman, this, that. I get it. Great athlete, great background, incredible talent, the face of the WWE right now, along with Becky and whatever they're going to do in the storyline. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to say that to say this or this to say that. I know, I've said it several times already. Bear with me here. Build back Bianca. Remember that. And that's what I took out of this match. Okay? Build back Bianca, trying to make her look like she'll take on the whole roster. You know that the WWE Universe, the front office, Pritchard, Dunn, Vince, whoever, the fans especially, no one's going to be happy until Bianca Belair gets the title back. Let's face it. Because that's how the fans are, and that's what they're pushing right now. Build back Bianca. I'll say that to say this and move on. We go on to another Rock promo. Again, it's been the theme. They're pushing his movie, whatever it's called, Red Spirit, Red Blood. I'm not sure. I didn't pay attention, but it's all about The Rock. So now we go backstage, and there's Paul Heyman. He's being interviewed, and they're asking about the lifted suspension, supposedly about Brock Lesnar. We know the whole storyline moving forward and what's really worth it in WWE, and that's Brock and Roman and the setup of a Rock and Roman, Brock, Roman. You see that. Throw in Big E. You see what they're trying to do here. So he's asked about that, and he says, well, go ask Adam Pearce. Now, Heyman is the consummate professional. Longevity, the number one guy. His physical expressions, his facial emotions and expressions are priceless. That's why he's perhaps one of the best to ever do it as a manager, concierge, spokesperson, representative, advocate, whatever you want to call Paul Heyman. That's how worked up I get. He's still one of the best, and if not the best, and he makes the gimmick, if you ask me. Brock is no longer suspended. We understand that. That's what he's asked about. He's got the usual look on his face a la Elmer Fudd. And again, he leaves it off with that. Go ask Adam Pearce. He looks a little nervous. They're asking about, again, the backstage interviewer, I'm not sure who it was, asking about Cleopatra, the egg, the $1 million egg from The Rock again. So you see what they're pushing there with Heyman. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, the suspension, Adam Pearce. That's what I want to see. That's what the WWE is selling right now, and it's the only thing worth investing in my opinion, besides a few other storylines. I'm just giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we go to another promo of a movie trailer for Rock. I love The Rock. Again, but he should at least made an appearance. They dropped the ball on this. And then out of nowhere, and this is where I think, and a lot of people have pointed out, where there might have been some confusion as opposed to even earlier in the show of maybe a segment to conjecture. A lot of people are going to say it. They're going to be wrong. They're going to be right. Who cares? It's an opinion of that maybe Vince was supposed to be on again or something was supposed to happen, a conclusion to the golden egg. But whatever it is, they end up showing a Bobby Lashley promo for like 3 minutes. Has nothing to do with the main event. I understand what you're trying to do with Lashley. We know who you're pushing as the faces of the WWE and who you want. I mean, it's obvious if you're paying attention. I'm not trying to be political or social here. I'm telling it like it is. It's what you get here. I tell it like it is. So I didn't see the need for the promo, the placement, and the differences between the pacing and the matches of AEW Full Gear and Survivor Series for the WWE. That's what I noticed before we finally get on to the head of the table in the main event. Champion versus champion. The Universal Champion SmackDown Roman Reigns against the Raw Champion Big E. Again, we talk about the 25 years ago for The Rock, his debut at Survivor Series, all the different things. The crowd chants, this is amazing. We're really into it in this match. And this was a good match. Again, Becky and Charlotte, Usos RK Bro, Roman Reigns Big E. Was worth watching, in my opinion. So the different notes that I take out from this, of course, Roman Reigns uses the rock bottom. He picks up E and gives him unbelievable power slams. Several false finishes like in some of the other matches. It seems to be the theme of wrestling today in this industry in 2021 and evolving into 2022. Because let's face it, this week is Thanksgiving. So I'll get to that at the end of this show. And my greetings and salutations and well wishes to everyone on Thanksgiving holiday week. They exchange spears outside. E does one on Roman, a huge spear. Roman, in fact, turns around and does one inside of the ring once they get back in on Big E. They go back and forth. Roman with the guillotine over the ropes, which he's been using lately, an unbelievable maneuver. I like it. Big E with the power slams on Roman, but Roman grabs the ropes. Superman punches left and right like every Roman Reigns match. I'm giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly, as I've said several times here in this show. And I'm telling you the different things that I picked up in high spots and low spots of the matches here. The bottom line is, and we knew it was going to happen, Roman spears Big E for the pin and retains his title, obviously in a champion versus champion. Where does it go from here? Does it lead to The Rock? Will he come back for the 2 nights of WrestleMania 38 coming up in 2022 in Dallas, Texas? Or are they going to wait till 2023 when it's WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles, Hollywood, if you will? Rock's not getting any younger, as I said in the opening. He's going to be 50 years old. He hasn't been in the ring in a long time. That's the natural finish of this storyline with the bloodline and all the way back to the Wild Samoans. Chief Peter Maivia, Alpha, and Sika have even gotten involved in the storyline here in the WWE. So we have to see where that goes. Again, a good match. I'll give this maybe 3.5 stars, perhaps, out of 5, maybe 4. But a good match, a solid match. The pay-per-view overall, a 5, 5.5. Wasn't that good. It really was a big disappointment. And if you paid for it, I don't know what to tell you. If you went there live with your family and friends, I don't know what to tell you. You expected The Rock, I don't know what to tell you. That's the common denominator here. So those are the notes that I have. A lot of outside ring between Big E and Roman Reigns. But you knew Reigns wasn't going to lose, right? He will not lose until we get to the whole Rock Roman storyline. If we ever get that way, which we're going to have to. As fans, as insiders, as the WWE, where does Brock Lesnar fit in? That storyline has to be finished. Will that be at WrestleMania? I don't see Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 38 coming up in Dallas in 2022. I just don't see it. You got to finish up the Brock and Roman story. That's one that I want to see. So there it is, fans, the full breakdown. I kept it under an hour here on Chaos Corner. Those were the notes coming out last night. Accurate, intense. That's what I give you here on Chaos Corner. I can't thank you fans enough. I thought it was going to be 45 minutes, but we kept it under an hour. We're at 50 minutes. Thanks for being here. Again, as I say, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Gab, Guardian of Chaos, the GOC, Big Daddy. I greatly appreciate all you guys and gals out there, my demographic. The channel is growing. We're having a lot of fun here. You know my connection with Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. You know it's coming up on December 11th. It's Under Pressure, a big holiday event for Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling at the Greater New Haven JCC. You know that coming up on Black Friday this weekend, PAPW returns with Alley Fights on a Black Friday special. So it's going to be unbelievable. Before we get out of here, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart how much I appreciate each and every one of you that tune in here and watch my videos and follow me on social media and interact and DM me and email me and inbox me. I greatly appreciate it. You know, I'm involved in a lot of different projects, a lot of different things. I've been around for a long time, and I tell it like it is. That's what you get here, respect and honesty and quality. And, of course, with a lot of entertainment from the GOC. I want to say happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for all of you. I'm thankful for my family and friends. I'm thankful for the Lord. I'm thankful for this country. Let's all stick together. Let's enjoy our family. Let's stay safe. That's my PSA to you, the fans out there in the IWC, and everyone that's watching. Let's remember what it's really all about as we go through the holidays of being thankful and family and friends and sticking together and not being divided by what's going on in this country and in this world, because it's serious. If you're not right with the Lord, it's good versus evil. That's my PSA, which I don't like to throw into the entertainment part of what I do here, but it's reality. And that's what I mix in here is reality. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Enjoy it. Don't eat too much. Let's stay up, stay positive. And I'll see you soon. I will be back very soon. Stay with the channel. I am the Guardian of Chaos. I do tell it like it is. I'll say that to say this as we wrap it up here on Chaos Corner. Don't you dare miss it. It's still No Shave November. You're still here?